Call to order the April 3rd Planning and Zoning pre-meeting. Ethan, are you going to present to us?
I am. All right. Starting off, we have old business, item 1A. This is a conditional use permit that was tabled last month. We have not heard anything from them since then, so we recommend this remain tabled. So that'll take us to new business, item 1A. This is a request to change a condition on the previously approved site plan for Home Depot. The site plan was originally approved in July of 1998 with a condition that limited the display of seasonal items like the garden materials and mulch and things like that. They're requesting to change this condition to allow the display to be in the front of the store before it was required to be on the side of the building. Staff is recommending approval of the change of the condition on the site plan to state as follows. No outdoor display of materials or products, temporary or otherwise, shall occur beyond the area between the front of the building and the driveway aisle. No such materials or products shall be attached or affixed to any exterior wall except where such attached materials are below 12 feet from the finished grade. The seasonal sales area for the garden corral and mulch area may be located within the parking spots to the east of the main entrance of the building between March and July of each year, as shown on the sketch plan provided to staff. And this is the plan that they gave to us.
We've got a great engineer.
So yeah, this is just, kind of off to the side from their main entrance. They already have some stuff over there. So this would be, you can see where they currently have it. So they're just going to move it up front here. So any questions on that?
Is that not where the stuff currently is?
They probably have it there now. They're not supposed to, so they are requesting this change so that they are in compliance.
So, is this like build it and then come get permission?
I think so. I don't have all of.
I was there yesterday. Yeah, it's already there.
Yeah, they've been talking to us for about a month, so if they had some stuff coming in already, I wouldn't be surprised. So.
Okay.
Mr. Howard.
Thank you, sir. This is the best they can do with the site plan? I mean, we're setting guidelines on where trucks can be parked, where mulch and material, garden material, and this is what we get for a site plan for that?
Yeah, we had requested a drawing from them for quite a while before we finally got something back from them. And this is what we got from them. So this is what we have to work with. If you'd like to request a better drawing, we can do that. But this is what they provided us before it was time to send this out.
Another question I have is, what property to the east do we need cross access to?
Yeah, so those were recommendations that you saw on the agenda. Those were meant to be taken out. We've since corrected that since you gave us those comments. So what is in the recommendation on the agenda now is what the correct comments should be. So that was just an error. We took those out.
But we need to remove that condition.
I don't believe you do. You can go off the recommendation that's in the agenda now to change that comment to the one that I read.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, go ahead.
Okay. Next is new business items 2A, 2B, and 2C. This is a request for a conditional use permit and site plan for a 4-story apartment building with 820 square feet of first floor retail. This is the Caledonia Flats that we've seen a few times already. The conditional use permit is for residential use in a commercial zoning. The building will have 92 units. The amenities for the hotel building across the street are meant to serve the residents of this apartment building. The applicant, like I said, is proposing an 820 square foot retail space on the first floor for EOTech, which sells scopes and other firearms accessories. Based on shrinking the retail space, they do have enough parking for what is required by code. So there's no shared parking needed for this building the way they have it configured now. Staff is recommending approval of the conditional use permit with the standard conditions, and then also recommending approval of the site plan with some of the following conditions, such as label the height of the building, and the crosswalks on the southeast side of the area near the hotel needs to be realigned to have two separate crosswalks that run perpendicular to the roadway. The crosswalks need to be designed to direct pedestrians to turn right to cross the street. The way it's designed now, it just kind of sends them out and not directly across the street. So that needs to be revised. Here's the site plan. Here's the crosswalk here that I was talking about. The detectable warning there sends them straight out instead of turning down, so they need to adjust that. And like I said, they are not proposing the parking back here as they have what they need on site. And then down in the corner is the retail space that they are proposing. Here is the rendering of the building. I take any questions on that?
Mayor,
Just for the commissioners, the commercial that was in there when we saw it the last time, still going to be, it's not going to be there, it's going to be in the hotel. So the restaurant and I believe what was the other one? There was something else that was going to go over the shooting range, which was going to be here. It's going to be over at the hotel site. So, because the restaurant was, that way they didn't have to do the kitchens, the breakfast place and stuff. That's still going to be over at the hotel. So they don't have to build the kitchen. So just for your FYI, that all the commercial that was what we saw last time, still going to be there, but it's going to be in the hotel.
Mr. Howard,
Thanks, sir. Why is it we need a second conditional use permit for a residential and a commercial when they've already got one?
Yeah, we did a new one because this plan was so different than the last one. The last one, if you remember, was 6 stories. It had a floor of condos and apartments throughout. So since it's such a different mix of residential, we just decided to just have it be clean and do a new one.
Do we still need the alcohol conditional use permit that was provided on the first, the second, actually the third?
Yeah, the one that would have been previously approved. No, we can.
There's no alcohol.
There's no alcohol being served on this side, so.
alcohol.
I didn't know whether they were going to sell, beer in a cooler or.
No.
No.
Well, that one's being canceled. That one's being canceled then.
Yeah, that one can be revoked or taken away. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Seymour.
Thank you, sir. I'm kind of confused on this now. So we are still getting a hotel here?
Yeah, the hotel is on the other side of Rushway, and that's still moving forward.
What was this proposed? How many different proposals for this site?
Yeah, it was different iterations of an apartment building with different amounts of retail, different amounts of different types of units. The last one we saw had 13 condos on the 6th floor, and then first floor was half retail, half parking, and then the rest were apartments throughout. So this one is down to 4 stories and is all apartments except for the small retail space on the corner there.
And we're going to have adequate parking, and all this going to be reserved parking for each individual tenant?
I believe so, yeah. Based on the parking calculations that our code requires for the residential and the commercial, based on the 1 versus 2 bedrooms, they do have enough parking on their site.
So is there any overflow parking? In other words, if you
Curtis, hit your
go
microphone.
to visit somebody,
Curtis, hit your microphone, please.
sorry. Thanks for reminding me. So, back to the parking.
He's lost his train of thought.
I just want to make sure that, you know, we're trying to think down the road and make sure that we don't have 92 spaces for 92 units. You know, there's a few extras here and there, and if they run a big sale on fire extinguishers or something, and you have 400 or 500 people rushed over there, there's plenty of parking.
They are pretty close on their parking count. There are some extra spaces. They're close.
Well, you know, that whole area right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a parking issue.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we kind of shoehorn in there, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah.
That was my concern.
Yeah. Well, they meet the requirements of code. So.
Okay. As long as you're happy with it, I guess I'm happy with it.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? Seeing none, go ahead.
All right, new business items 3A, 3B, and 3C. This is a request for a conditional use permit and site plan for a hotel. That property located on Technology Drive. The proposed hotel is 4 stories and 55,400 square feet with 80 rooms. That's the total of the 4 floors. Access to the site is shared with the storage facility to the south, and then another access that's shared to the north with Persimmon Point Market. Staff is recommending approval of the conditional use permit with the standard conditions, and we are recommending approval of the site plan with the conditions to provide approvals from the Fire District, MoDOT, MDNR, Sanitary and Water District, provide the estimated sanitary flow on the plan, and then provide a ramp at the end of the sidewalk on the south side of the building. Here's the site plan. Down here is the storage building, and then Persimmon Point Market is up here. You can see the 2 shared access points there. This is a little spur that comes off to the existing trail that runs along there. So, and here's the elevation. Sorry. Any questions on that?
Commissioner?
Didn't we have something like this several months back that was on that side, and then talking about putting it along 70?
Yeah, we a hotel plan for this site, or it might have been the site across the street. One of these 2. I think it was this property actually. They had proposed a hotel and ended up not following through with it. Their conditional use permit was tabled by council, and then the applicant withdrew it. I believe that was later in 2023. So yeah, there was talks of a hotel pretty recently.
Different developer.
Any other questions? Commissioner Nard?
Is this the front that's going to face Technology Drive?
This is the end that'll face Technology Drive. It's kind of in there, kind of the long ways. This side of the building will kind of be facing towards the storage building to the south.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, go ahead.
All right. New business, item 4A. This is a request for a site plan at 231 Rush Way for a multi-tenant commercial building. The proposed building is 6,925 square feet and is designed for 3 tenants. Staff is recommending approval of the site plan with some of the following conditions. Provide the required number of street trees if these cannot be provided along Highway 64. Provide written proof from MoDOT. If unable to provide the required number of street trees, 4 shrubs for every 40 feet or portion thereof of Highway 64 frontage shall be required. And then provide approvals from all of the reviewing districts. The reason for that comment about the street trees with MoDOT, there's a MoDOT easement along that edge of the site. So we're not sure if they are able to plant trees within that or not. There is some room to do some shrubs outside of that, but not enough to fit all of the required trees. So that is the reasoning for that condition. So here's the site. And you can see this is that easement right along there that limits where they can put trees. And then here are the elevations of the building. Any questions on this one?
Commissioner?
Thank you. How does the parking change of this affect the shared parking for that entire area?
They are providing enough parking for this site. They're adding more kind of, along this road as other tenants throughout this area have done. And then, a handful in here. We have an idea of some of the tenants going in there. I believe one of them is a med spa, so we've calculated that into the parking requirement. So we believe that they have enough parking.
But are they taking out 20 parking spots on Rush Way and then adding 25, or are they taking out 20 and adding?
No, so there's no parking on this site right now. It's empty.
There's parking on the road, correct?
I don't believe there is. I can look. I don't believe there is.
No, there's not.
If it is, it's parallel parking along there.
Signs are on the road.
I think I park on there every Saturday.
You're illegal.
I guess so. Don't-
Get you.
You have to find a new spot.
Any other questions?
We'll get you at the regular meeting.
Seeing none, go ahead.
All right, next, new business items 5A and 5B. This is a request for a final plan for Meadowwoods Estates Phase 3 on Tom Ginnever Avenue. They are proposing a 3-story building with 54 residential units within the existing senior community. They're also proposing a maintenance shed. This is almost the same as what they did with Phase 2, just kind of mirrored to the south. They are also providing right-of-way for the roundabout at Tom Ginnever and North Cool Springs. Staff is recommending approval of the final plan with some of the following conditions. The Phase 3 contribution for road improvements is $12,650. This is due before construction plan approval. We've had a similar comment on both phases that have already come through, so just continuing that. Provide the sidewalk along Tom Ginnever Avenue on Lot 4. Lot 4 is the other lot that is not being developed. It'll be developed in the future, so we just want them to complete that sidewalk through there. And then remove the fence from the front yard setback. So here is the overall plan. You can see the right-of-way being provided for the roundabout, and then where we'd like them to continue that sidewalk along Tom Ginnever. Here is Lot 3, kind of zoomed in a little bit so you can get a better look. And here are the elevations of the building.
Lot 4? Lot 4, the commercial?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a little bit of misunderstanding when they first applied.
No, there's no misunderstanding. I'll get into that when it comes to there.
Sure.
And the problem is when Meadowlands first came in, they were going to do commercial along Tom Ginnever. Lot 2, Phase 2 came in, they were going to do the commercial. Phase 3 is coming in, no commercial. Well, I'm not real happy about that. Just as an FYI.
That makes 3 of us.
Okay. I'm just, I'll make my point known during the regular meeting.
Mr. Howard?
We got elevations for a commercial piece in lot, I don't even know what lot it is, Lot 4.
Yeah.
And the center Are they being approved at this time?
No, we could have taken those out. We provided them as part of the packet just because that's what they provided us. Since they're just doing the residential building and that maintenance shed, we could have put it where it was just those that were provided to you, but we decided to just put it all in there. because
Will those
that's
items
what
coming in the future?
It should be.
Well, how can we have a final plan then?
This is a final plan for phase 3, which is the lot that, this lot here. The commercial would be part of a future phase 4.
So it's also the first plan and the final plan. I don't remember seeing a plan on this in the past.
They've had an area plan for this whole site for a while, and they've been coming back with final plans for each phase.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Mr. Seymour?
Yeah. I just got a question. Where did they come up with the dollar amount for the contribution?
That was established with the area plan, I believe. They had a cost estimate for road improvements through there, and then it's been divided up between each phase. I can find what that total dollar amount is after this pre-meeting.
Well, I was just wondering what the method was. Is there a certain dollar amount per construction cost?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm not sure what they do for that. Todd might know. He might be able to get you some information after.
I just want to make sure the city is getting a fair shake on
Yeah.
this. Okay.
Yeah, there was a method to putting that all together when this first came through. So
And this is to do with the roundabout construction?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, what about any other off-site construction?
I don't know if it addresses anything off-site other than just the road improvements.
Well, that's a pretty major improvement.
That is, yes, it is.
So I just want to make sure that, it's not 120,000 rather than 12,000,
Yeah, yeah. I think the roundabout has been the idea there for a while, so I think that would have been what they based it off of. But we can pull that information if you'd like us to find out.
Everything has gone up quite a bit in the last few
Yeah.
years.
Of course.
Concrete cost itself is gone up substantially.
Yeah, I don't know if these figures are adjusted for increases over time, but we can find that out if you'd like.
Mayor Hennessy?
Curtis, this roundabout's been approved, it's already been approved. And we're getting federal money, East-West Gateway money, and everything else to do this. So Debbie's not too happy about it, but yeah, it's already been approved. So this just helps
Thank you, sir.
the contribution from the city.
Any other questions, comments? Saying none, go ahead.
All right, next is new business, item 6A. This is a request for an amended site plan for a veterinary hospital, excuse me, at the northwest corner of Technology and Waterbury Falls Drive. This plan was here in November of 2024. Since then, they've made some changes to their plan and are coming through with a new plan. The proposed building is just under 13,000 square feet, and they'll provide specialty rehab services and routine veterinary care. There will be no boarding services at this site. Staff is recommending approval of the site plan with some of the following conditions: provide a photometric plan, show HVAC units and mechanical unit screening, and provide details of that. And then show bike parking on the plan and include calculations. So here is the new plan. On the original plan, the building was kind of oriented, kind of turned 90 degrees a little bit. And then they also added this garage area. But other than kind of reorienting the building and changing the parking, it's roughly the same. They're still showing this drive aisle kind of going through at the back. And here are the elevations for this project, and I will answer any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, go ahead.
Next for new business is the code change. I can go over this now, or we can go over it during the meeting.
Later.
During the meeting would be fine.
All right, that is all I've got.
Thank you. We'll adjourn the pre-meeting until 7 p.m.
You're up, bub. You're up.
The April 3rd, 2025 Planning and Zoning Missions called to order. Tracy, would you give us the roll call, please?
Vice Chairperson Nunnery,
Present.
Chairperson Carolyn Thomas,
Excused.
Mayor Hennessy,
Present.
Councilwoman Cook, Commissioner Howard,
Present?
Commissioner Seymour,
Present.
Commissioner Nager,
Here.
Commissioner Baust,
Present.
Commissioner Heath,
Present.
Commissioner Lammers, Commissioner Link,
Unexcused.
Unexcused.
Commissioner Wexler,
Present.
Commissioner Eggemeyer.
Present.
Mayor, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start citizen comments, I'd like to point out the speaker procedures on item 10. Members of the public may not provide comments regarding items that are not on the agenda. And on item 8, political statements of any nature are considered inappropriate at any city meeting. Speaker will be stopped and forfeit the remainder of their time. Now open for citizen comments. I have one card that's been submitted. Arnie A.C. Dienoff.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Arnie C. A.C. Dienoff, running for city council. Also,
You have been warned. Your time has been stopped. No political statements of any kind can be made at this meeting. Your time has been forfeited.
it's not
Go
a
sit
political,
down.
it's not a political statement.
Go sit
You
down.
just violated my First Amendment rights. So I asked an appeal to the commission. It's a fact that I'm on the ballot. I ask an appeal to speak under Robert's Rules of Order, please.
I'll let you continue, but there better be no more political comments.
I think you're wrong. I think you just violated my First Amendment rights. So moving on, I am the city's public advocate. There is nothing on the agenda for some reason where we have our meeting agenda, or meeting minutes,
That is not part of the agenda.
which would be
You're
a
out of
violation
order.
of state law. So moving on, most of the items that I want to speak about have a public hearing. Home Depot has a request for a revised, previously approved site plan condition along Missouri Highway K. I'm not exactly sure what they're asking for and why they're coming here at this point. I think it's been a really long time since they made a presentation before the commission. So I would ask the commissioners make sure that their original final site plan is being complied with, that Americans with Disabilities Act is being complied with, that they're building and equipping the addition to have a sidewalk along that corridor or that area, and that the appropriate landscaping is being installed at this location. The next one would be Rush Way. That's going to be a public hearing. I have comments there. The next one's a public hearing. Let's see here. 231 Rush Way is a request for a multi-tenant commercial building. I believe that's also a public hearing. I'll keep my comments for then. We have Meadowwoods. I've got a lot to say about that, especially their non-commitment to the commercial area along Tom Ginevra, which they've promised since a number of phases ago and hasn't come up to their agreement or their promise. And finally, The last one on the agenda would be item number 6, technology in Waterbury Falls. The request for veterinary hospital. I thought we've discussed this in previous meetings. I'm not exactly sure why they're back here on the agenda once again. And then we have a change in the codified code, which will have some comments prepared for that public hearing. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chairman.
That was the only comment card filled out. My eyesight's been corrected by the mayor. I need a motion for approval of the agenda, which you have in front of you.
So moved, Howard.
Second, Seymour.
Have a motion and a second for approval of the agenda. Please cast your vote.
Voting is closed. Oh, no, we're missing one. Okay,
Nope.
now voting is closed.
Motion passes. First item under old business, remain tabled until the May meeting, 406 Narrowleaf Lane. Request for consideration, motion for recommendation to City Council regarding conditional use permit at 306 Narrowleaf Lane, Leon Brown, property owner. It's for a shed that exceeds 150 square feet. Staff has recommended this item remain tabled till May 1st, 2025. No action is necessary at this time. Under new business, item 1 is Home Depot. Request for consideration, motion for action on a site plan condition revision for 1525 Highway K. Home Depot property owner proposed use request to revise a previously approved site plan condition. Do we have someone to present this to the commission?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Hines. I'm representing Home Depot. And we were just wanting to move the tree corral to the front of the parking lot like it has been in previous years. I do believe I sent in a really terrible sketch. I didn't draw that, by the way. But we just wanted to put the corral in the front and the seasonal mulch behind it, and then July 7th, we will move it back to the side of the building. That was pretty much it.
Mayor?
And possibly move the sheds because they're in a pretty dangerous location along the where people pull into the parking lot. They wanted to put them in the middle next to where the corral would be.
Okay.
That's it.
You saw the conditions? The conditions, you can't have anything on, attached to the building and can't be past the driveway, and I can't remember what all they...
Yeah, if you could, I don't know.
Ethan, could you provide her with those conditions, please?
Yeah, I'll reread it.
Yes, please.
It's the original condition that we're altering. So, no outdoor display of materials or products, temporary or otherwise, shall occur beyond the area between the front of the building and the driveway aisle, so in front of the building. No such materials or products shall be attached or fixed to any exterior wall except where such attached materials are below 12 feet from the finished grade. And then the seasonal sales area for the garden corral and mulch area may be located within the parking spots to the east of the main entrance of the building between March and July of each year, as shown on the sketch plan provided to staff.
Is that the 1st of July or the end of July?
We can say the end of July if you want.
I'm just curious because I don't want to get into, well, it says July, so does that mean July 1st or does that mean July 31st?
Yeah, I'd say by the end of July.
End of July.
Yeah, that's not a problem. So no putting the corral in the front. I mean, for many, many years, we had the corral out front, and then for some reason, it changed.
I believe it's for safety.
Safety? Well, honestly, where it's at now is far more dangerous than where we would like it. Because those trucks barrel through there, and our corral is so close to the drive that it's really just not feasibly safe.
So they have to put it, they can put it in the parking lot? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so they can put it up front, like they've shown in the drawing.
Okay.
from March to the end of July, and then after that, it'll need to be moved back when it's
Okay.
not needed.
Wonderful. What about, and this is maybe off subject, but what about the Christmas tree corral? Can the Christmas trees during season go out front in that same location?
Not unless you're putting Christmas trees up in July.
No, so that's a no. Okay, got it.
Any other
can try,
questions
but-
from the commission?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Mr. Seymour.
have you met with city staff, talked to city staff at all?
No.
Okay. I kind of gathered that.
Yeah,
Might not be a bad idea to meet with city staff and get a copy written down of the conditions and when you can put product out front of the store and where you can put product out front in the parking lot.
I'll do it.
Thank
I
you.
don't even work for the Home Depot, so I'm just here on their behalf. So I will find that information and pass it along.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? Do I have a motion on this item?
Motion to approve for staff recommendations, Hennessy.
Second, Seymour.
We have a motion and a second for approval for request for consideration, motion for action on the site plan condition revision for 1525 Highway K, Home Depot property on the proposed use, request to revise a previously approved site plan condition. Please cast your votes.
Voting is closed.
Motion passes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Second item on the agenda is Caledonia Flats. It's a public comment for conditional use permit for Caledonia Flats, 211 Rush Way. It's a request for consideration, motion for recommendation to the City Council regarding a conditional use permit for Caledonia Flats, 211 Rush Way, Caledonia Real Estate LLC contract purchaser, proposed use multifamily development, and a request for consideration, motion for action on the site plan for Caledonia Flats, 211 Rush Way, Caledonia Real Estate LLC contract purchaser, proposed use multifamily development with first floor retail. We'll hear this as a joint presentation and vote on these two items separately. You here to present to us?
I am.
You give us your name and address, please.
My name is Steve Valentine. I'm representing Caledonia Real Estate. Address is 4 Research Park Drive, St. Charles, Missouri, 63304.
Thank you, sir.
Well, ladies and gentlemen of the commission, this is this is our third attempt at a project on this site. For those of you that will recall, we presented last summer, and that application made it through planning and zoning and then was denied at council. We brought back an alternate design through the same process, and we were successful through council. However, when we got back into the financials for that project, the state of interest rates and cost of construction basically made the project non-viable from a financial perspective. So we were prepared to simply pass on the site and really focus on the hotel construction that we have going on adjacent to this parcel. Through some contact through both parties, the city as well as ourselves, it was decided to take another approach that would be financially viable and deliver what our contacts at the city were interested in. So that's what I'm here to present tonight. It's for a conditional use permit as well as a site plan at 211 Rush Way. This is the location of the site. It is just north of the Rush soccer fields, in between where our hotel location is here and the Barron Swim School further to the north. Kukar is the development company that we're working with both on this project as well as the hotel site. They bring years of experience in commercial development, including hotels, apartments, multifamily throughout the United States. So they are making an excellent partner for us on both projects. This particular offering is 92 apartment units, 81 one-bedroom, 11 two-bedroom. It provides 154 parking spaces, which meets the requirement for the site. It is currently zoned C2. The conditional use is to allow a residential use in a commercial zoning district. And the commercial entity that is the desirable entity that really was the impetus for some of the dialogue between the city and ourselves was EOTech, which is a high-end military-grade product manufacturer. They do not produce firearms, so this is not for a firearm location. They produce accessories, primarily optics, very high-end optics, night vision optics, heat-seeking optics, high-grade optics, and they've been very successful both with governmental contracts as well as aficionados that really appreciate the high-end offering that they have. They do not presently have a retail and virtual sports location anywhere in the country. So presently everything is either online or phone call to order. This will be their first in the country. It is a package offering that EOTech is willing to present, and it actually joins spaces. It creates some cohesion between this apartment offering as well as the hotel that's adjacent. The hotel will host the virtual sports component of it, and the apartment will host the retail component where we actually sell the goods. This is the site plan. This is the layout. As you can see, it is kind of just across the street from the hotel. We've aligned things. We've worked with staff and received comments and made our adjustments. And I think we've addressed all the concerns that were presented to us. Previous submission contemplated this space up in this area for additional parking, but with the modification going from 6 floors down to 4 floors, and the calculation was such that we no longer needed that space. We were in compliance with the parking as shown here. One of the comments was to have consistency from an elevational perspective with the hotel. This is drawn by the exact same architect that is working on the hotel for us. It is an elevation that does match and mimic that of the hotel across the way. And here's what that would look like with the Cambria Hotel on the south side, and then the Caledonia Flats and EOTech location adjacent. It's just a west elevation as well as east elevation, north elevation, south elevation views of the building. Again, consistent with the look and feel of the hotel. One of the comments from staff was to make sure that the mechanicals were indeed hidden in the rooftop parapet. So this section was provided to demonstrate that. A little additional background on EOTech. They've actually been in this business for over 3 decades. And again, high-end optics is really their specialty. They have been working with either active elite branches of the U.S. military, as well as those individuals that have exited the military but still are aficionados in that space. And we've already done a little bit of just market testing to validate that this location should perform as we anticipate. We actually feel that this will exceed our targeted revenue of $1,000 per square foot of the space. So with, again, a lot of that is derived from having the bush wildlife so close in proximity to this retail facility. This is a rendering. It's a preliminary rendering, again, because EOTech doesn't have this anywhere in the country. So these are not actual photos. This is just a concept that they were considering. So that's what we're presenting here currently. The architect is still working with the OTEC to finalize what this exact space would look like, as well as the interior designer, and what's the best optimum way to lay the space out. Here's a breakdown for the apartments. There are 24 units on the typical floor, so 3 floors of typical, 2, 3, and 4. Breakdown of square footages, with the 2 bedrooms being just over 1,200 square feet, and your 1 bedroom's just over 800 square feet. Overall units, again, is 92 total units. So this is more of almost a boutique apartment complex. This is not, I mean, we've done others in the past, and generally speaking, they're in the 150 to 250 unit count. So down at 92, we have very little concern that we're not going to be fully occupied on a regular basis. This is the layouts, both the 1 bedroom and the 2 bedroom. No changes from previous submissions. A rendering, none of this has been finalized. This came from the architect, so this has not been through our interior designer yet, and that will be part of the process. We are going to house, as mentioned previously, the leasing management will be operated out of the hotel. The residents will have access to the amenities in the hotel, which is a pool and a fitness center. Again, the facade will look very similar to the hotel. This is an example of the pool and the workout facility that will be in the hotel. Thank you. I'm open for any questions.
Mayor?
Steve, as I think I've said in the pre-meeting, the commercial from the second iteration of this, the commercial that you had underneath the apartments, basically the breakfast place and the shooting range is going to the hotel, EOTech staying there. So we're not really losing any of the commercial.
Yes, it will be housed over at the...
It will be housed over there and basically just shorten it.
There was just no more space for the retail component.
You're shorting it 2 stories.
Yep, correct.
And the commercial is there, but not underneath.
Not 100% within this, correct. Correct.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Any other questions at this time for the applicant? Seymour?
Thank you. The entrance to the structure here, how many entrances are there? My question is, if you're a tenant there or a resident there, do you have to walk through the retail space to get to the elevators or whatever?
You do not. So the retail, which I don't know if I have that on there. So the retail got its own exclusive door. It's on the first floor, located in a corner unit. And I'm going to jump one more slide here, where the main entrance and the elevator bank is a centralized location for the residents. So they are separate.
And as far as evacuating the building, there's plenty of staircases and...
I believe so. I mean, part of our process is we will have to submit our plans to the fire marshal for review. So
none of that's changed. So the last time...
None of it has changed. All we have is actually less units. So what he has seen, has the same number of entry and egress and exit, same amount of stairwells, same amount of elevators, just less units. So I have no reason to suspect that this will have any concern.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions at the moment? Commissioner Cook?
Thank you. Hey, Steve, do you know the price point for the 1 bedroom and the 2 bedroom?
I do not. I did ask that question prior to the meetings, suspecting that that would be asked. I don't have one at this time.
Any idea?
I don't have one at this time. I promise I will continue to push as we work through the pro forma and establish what that number is, but I don't have one yet.
All right.
I will try and have it before council.
Please. Thank you.
Okay, Steve, if you'll step aside, this is a public hearing. We've had one person request it. AC Dinoff.
Thank you, members of the commission. Arnie C., AC Dinoff, City Public Advocate. I thought this was going to come out a better way on the third time, and I thought I was going to be able to support this one. Unfortunately, I'm going to be against this proposal because it's going south instead of upward. First of all, the parking, I guess the applicant claims that he's in compliance with our codified code, and if he has 91 apartments, I guess he thinks that's going to be sufficient, but if you have a lot of visitors or a party, it's going to cause some other issues along Rushway and the other properties within this neighborhood. The community is highly fed up, and not only in O'Fallon, but Darden Prairie, Lake St. Louis, St. Charles, St. Peters. Our entire county population is totally fed up with apartment buildings. The community has sounded off the alarm loud and clear. They don't want any more apartments, no more storage units, no more banks, and no more car washes. But the apartments, if you read all the blogs, if you read on Facebook, if you read the editorials in the newspapers that we have left, everybody is opposed to apartment complexes. They cost us money. We don't even break even for the city services that we provide. When it comes to the retail space, that's a joke. The original proposal was 15,200 square footage worth of retail space. That's what we need to live on for our future of O'Fallon. So that 15,200 square foot went to 8,245 square foot the last time. Not so great, but livable. And then now he wants to propose to you just a merely small 820 square feet. That's not even the size, that's probably about the size of the dais, maybe from me to the wall behind us. 820 square feet is not a big area. I can't support it because we need to start living off of sales taxes. And I ask that there be no tax abatements that have been discussed in the past with this developer. We've had enough of tax abatements. No community improvement districts, which is another 1% sales tax district. No transportation development districts, which is 1%, and no neighborhood improvement districts, which is another 1%. This property is going to cost us rather than generate revenue for O'Fallon, the rest of O'Fallon. We're going to have to put out money for police services, increase ambulance services, fire services, schools that are bursting at the seams, and apartments bring children that are in schools, and other city services. In the packet, I don't see a letter from our partner, the Wentzville School District, saying if they can accommodate
Mr. Danoff, your time is up.
I'm opposed to this project.
That was the only public hearing card turned in. We'll close the public hearing at this time. Steve, you'll come back to the podium. Mr. Mayor.
Steve, the gentleman was complaining about the commercial that was over on the apartment side. We're not losing any of the commercial portion of the original project. It's all, it's all there. It's just not in that location.
Correct. The shooting and the restaurants will be in the hotel.
We're not losing the commercial side of things.
Right.
As our
as
lovely
noted,
advocate was saying that it was, we're losing all this commercial space. We're not losing any commercial space.
Correct. In fact, and I would note it for the resident and public advocate, that This is a package deal from EOTech. This is, again, they're first in the country.
Correct.
They have a premium name. They are known within the industry, and those that I am myself am not a firearms expert, yet I have talked to enough to know that $15,000 for a scope, which is in their lineup and is purchased regularly, that is a premium offering. This is a rare opportunity. They've never done it. They've been around for over 30 years. Others have tried. This is our first opportunity for O'Fallon to be the first in the country to get this offering. And quite honestly, I'm excited to bring it.
I'm excited for it to be here.
Any other questions from any of the members of the commission? Mr. Howard?
I kind of feel like I've been blindsided. I mean, we went from 8,000 square foot of retail on the first floor. I know that talk about moving it all to the hotel, but the hotel had retail in its design. This was additional retail. I don't see where we're gaining any retail from what the two plans initially had.
So what the previous offering was, as mentioned earlier, was a virtual shooting range, which the hotel had a virtual component to it as well. If you recall, there was a virtual golf simulator space that's within the hotel. We have now had enough conversations that the equipment, right, basically the computers and the laser-aided both golf simulator as well as shooting simulator can be housed in the hotel. They do not need to be unique and separate. And so that's kind of the synergy that we're looking to take advantage of. So to the mayor's point, it's not that it's going away. It's merely being transferred over to the hotel. Square footage wise, I am not here to debate facts. It was a larger footprint of commercial in the previous. It also didn't calculate out. It was not a financially viable offering. So which is why we had told the seller we will back out of the contract. I mean, that's where we were at. The opportunity to bring EOTech here came to light. It was something that the city was interested, something we were interested in, and so then we pursued something that we felt not only could offer that, but also be financially viable.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? If not, I need a motion for the first item, which is a request for consideration and motion of recommendation of City Council regarding conditional use permit for Caledonia Flats, 211 Rush Way, Caledonia Real Estate LLC contract purchase, proposed use, multifamily development. Do I have a motion?
Motion by Hennessy.
Second, Charlie Nagar.
A motion is second. Please cast your votes.
Voting is closed.
Motion passes. Second item is a request for consideration and motion for action on a site plan for Caledonia Flats, 211 Rush Way, Caledonia Real Estate LLC, contract purchaser, proposed use, multifamily development with first floor retail. Do I have a motion on this item?
Motion Wexler.
Second, Charlie Nagar.
Have a motion and a second on this item. Please cast your votes.
Voting is closed.
Motion passes. Thank you, sir. Next item is Technology Drive, Hampton Inn. It's public comment for conditional use permit for property located on Technology Drive. Request for consideration, motion for recommendation of the City Council regarding conditional use permit for property located on Technology Drive, 1155 Technology LLC, contract purchaser, proposed use hotel, and a request for consideration, motion for action on a site plan for the property located on Technology Drive, 1155 Technology LLC, contract purchaser, proposed use hotel. Do we have someone to present this to the commission? If you'll give us your name and address, please.
Sure. Get this plugged in here first.
My name is Joseph Howley. I'm a civil engineer with CEDC. I'd like to thank the Planning Commission for entertaining our request tonight. I'm also accompanied today by the owner-operator, Andy Patel. I'm sure you all have heard of him. Andy he is available to answer questions if needed. He did want me to mention that part of the decision-making for this from a financial basis is not directly tied, but the sports complex did play a role in determining if he wanted to pursue a hotel at this location, which he has. Let me try to get this full screen here. All right. So we are, I'm still not working here. Let's see. Okay, would you please? Thank you. Thank you. So we are proposing a Hampton Inn to be located on Technology Drive. We'll get to the location here in a minute. Here's a nice rendering of the building, proposed building, post-hotel building. And our request tonight will be for a conditional use permit for this hotel that's in a C3 zone, Highway Commercial Zoning District. It's also in a PUD. And we also have, of course, a site plan that goes along with that. The location is north of Highway 40, west of Highway K, and it's located off Technology Drive. It's surrounded by developed plots. We are a undeveloped plot in the middle next to a strip center, storage area, and there are some other hotels across the road and adjacent in this area. But that is the site location, northwest corner of 40 and K. It's almost 2-acre lot. Zoning, we are not proposing to change. We have the C3 zoning, PUD, Highway Commercial District. Right now it's a vacant lot. Just a little closer look at that vacant lot. It's been graded, kind of pad ready for some time now. It has 2 existing entrances that would serve the facility. Both are shared entrances. The one that's farther to the north, which would be to the upper right, you can kind of see the box there where the site is a right in, right out only. The other is a full access driveway location. And we would like to put a hotel there, a 4-story hotel, kind of centrally located in that rectangular area, utilizing those 2 entrances. There's a look at it there. We can zoom in a little bit here, or just actually talk about some of the demographics here. 80 units spread over 4 stories. Overall height is 54 feet 4 inches. The PUD would allow up to 6-story. We're going for 4. The building area overall, this is the footprint times 4 is 55,400 square feet, so it's about 13 something. The actual floor pad area. Amenities in the hotel would include a swimming pool, meeting rooms, fitness center, breakfast area, other support space. The site itself would have 84 stalls of parking. And as we mentioned, you'd have that existing full access shared with the extra space storage site, and then there's also an existing right-in, right-out one shared with the strip center to the northeast of the site. After development, our site would have a 67% coverage, so we'd retain about 33% green. And there is an existing shared detention basin that's located, I believe, off the site to the south. This is kind of looking at askew, but it's the hotel here squared up with the view. So north is going to be to the upper left, I believe. We've got a nice landscaping plan. It's just kind of a circulation is just kind of rectangular around the building, 2-way drives all around the building, and then those 2 entrance locations. Quick look at the landscape plan. A lot of trees intended to comply with the city requirements. Down in the bottom here, you can see kind of there's a little area underneath that B that's at the far right bottom. That is a little look at the stormwater basin. You don't see the whole thing here, so it is off-site. We're also proposing to add a HDS unit, which is a water quality vortex treatment manhole to provide a little water quality on the site as well, along with that detention basin for stormwater attenuation. Here's another look at the rendering overall. This is It's Hampton Inn. It comes from their corporate design, so and it is one of their latest designs. They very proud of their look. I think it's very contemporary. A lot of use of planes architecturally. We can go on and see the actual building elevations. Broken up nicely. It's an architectural system. A lot of ephes and panel work. We got some wood look, some brick look, and they are all Benjamin Moore colors. Here's a look. We do have a porticature. You can see at that bottom view is the pull through that people can come through, drop off, check in under that awning area. They did also include in these some of their traditional brochure on their architectural features. They like to highlight their clean contemporary lines, a lot of wall planes that are strategically architecturally designed. There's a fin-in frame. You can see it's number 5 on there. I don't know if that's clear. It's that little blue part that looks kind of like a sail there, or it's just an architectural feature that adds some depth and perspective to the view. Here's a actual color palette there, and a scale of tones if you were wondering about those. And I think we got finally here just a little better look at the colors too. And I believe that's basically, in a nutshell, our proposal. Be happy to answer any questions, and Andy also is available for those.
Members of the commission, anyone have a question at this point? Seeing none, if you'll step aside, this is a public hearing. We've had one person turn in a card. Ernie Dinoff.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Arnie A.C. Dinoff, City Public Advocate. This is a great developer. He's investing a lot of money in our community and does a lot of great things for our city. I'm going to be in favor of this 4-story Hampton Inn. This facility will generate state, county, and city sales tax. In addition, it'll generate hotel guest transient taxes for our tourism and economic development needs here at the city. I'd like to see if the commission can ask the applicant if there's any way for us to get some type of commercial component at this location, maybe a retail store located in the hotel for amenities, maybe a restaurant, maybe something else that would generate and stimulate a service, also bring a productive profit for the owner, and also generate sales taxes for our city. This area is a desired location. There's no need for tax breaks, no need for tax abatements, no need for any special taxing districts. Human trafficking across Missouri is a huge topic at our state capitol. There's many bills, and also the Missouri Department of Public Safety is dealing with this issue hands-on. It's the movement of, unfortunately, captive children and women across our state. I would ask that the commission or the city put a condition on this conditional use permit that employees and the owner of the facility be trained. There's lots of not-for-profit organizations and also state agencies that do training for human trafficking. Unfortunately, I've seen it here in O'Fallon at some of our areas and neighborhoods, and we need to be cognizant and trained on that, what's going on with that, and trained to spot that and then call our law enforcement authorities to investigate. For those reasons, I support this Hampton Inn. Thank you.
That was the only public hearing comment card. I now close the public hearing. The applicant will step back to the front podium, please. Members of the commission, does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
Chair, make a motion for approval per staff recommendations. Hennessy.
Second, Howard.
Have a motion and a second for Request for consideration, motion, recommendation, City Council regarding conditional use permit, property located at Technology Drive, 1155 Technology LLC, contract purchaser, proposed use hotel. Please cast your votes.
And voting is closed.
That item's been approved. Next item is a request for consideration, motion for action on a site plan for property located on Technology Drive, 1155 Technology LLC, contract purchaser, proposed use hotel. Do I have a motion?
Recommendation based upon staff conditions, Howard.
Second, Seymour.
A motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
And voting is closed.
Motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I do have one question for him. When you plan on starting construction?
Soon. Next item is 231 Rush Way. It's a request for consideration, motion for action on a site plan for property at 231 Rush Way, CPTWO LLC, property owner, 40 DD Sports LLC, contract purchaser, proposed use, multi-tenant commercial building. Do we have someone to present that to the commission? If you'll give us your name and address, please.
My name is Lindsay D. Kemper. I am here on behalf of Cole and Associates, located at 1520 South 5th Street in St. Charles. I do not have a flash drive. I'm not sure if you're able to pull up the site plan.
We haven't.
You guys have it? Okay, all good. So this is a approximately 7,000 square foot. This is actually a multi-tenant office space. And with the associated required parking. I did want to note with that, while there is shared parking agreement for this area, because this is office space, the minimum parking requirement is 24 spaces, and that is what we're meeting. So while there is shared parking for any potential overflow, we are meeting the minimum requirement. In addition to that, we are meeting the minimum requirement for street trees as well. I was here a little early, so I heard that got brought up. That was a comment from the Planning and Zoning Department as part of our site plan submittal, and we made a resubmittal after that showed the required street trees. They are within existing utility easements, but we reviewed that language, and there's nothing that prohibits trees being located, and we made sure to avoid all the existing and proposed utilities in that area. The expected users for this office space is 3 different users: a title company, a chiropractor, and a mortgage company. So something to note with that as well in regard to the parking is that these types of facilities are not something that someone necessarily drives by and stops at. It's someone that they're going there with intent, with purpose. So we think that the parking is going to be more than adequate. I don't think that there's anything additional to note, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the Commissioner Howard?
My understanding is kind of like a strip mall. There's 3 units that have their own separate entrance.
That's correct. I would say it's slightly different than a strip mall, just in the sense in the shape of the building. Each entrance is at a different, tier of the building as it kind of steps down along Rush Way. But that is correct. There are 3 separate entrances for the 3 different tenants.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
Make a recommendation of approval based upon staff conditions, Howard.
Second, Charlie Nagar.
I have a motion and a second for request for consideration, motion for action on a site plan for property at 231 Rush Way, CPTWO LLC, property owner, 40 DD Sports LLC, contract purchaser, proposed use, multi-tenant commercial building. Please cast your votes.
Voting is closed.
Motion passes. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you for your time.
Next item is a public hearing for a final plan for Meadowwood Estates 2. It's a request for consideration and motion for recommendation to City Council regarding the final plan for Meadowwood Estates 3 on Tom Ginevra Avenue, Jeffrey E. Smith Investments property owner, proposed use senior housing development. Do we have someone to present that to us? If you give us your name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Creedy. I'm with Engineering Surveys and Services, offices at 1113 Fay Street in Columbia, Missouri, and I am representing the applicant on this. Again, this is the third phase of Meadowwood Estates. I think you've seen the last two phases are constructed. Second one just completed here recently. This request specifically asks for the final plan approval on Lot 3, which for a 3-story, 54-unit senior building. Again, consistent with the plans you've seen so far in the use. This plan has also been updated to provide space for the proposed roundabout and the proposed right-of-way as well. So that's been coordinated. We've worked with the city's consultant to get that space set up correctly. And in addition, we've added a right-in, right-out between lots 3 and lots 4. This will improve access into the property, works well with the roundabout, and would ultimately improve access into that commercial property as well. So the plans are in conformance with the city code, and we have no objection with the proposed conditions that city staff has placed on the request. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you all have.
Mayor Hennessy?
Matthew,
Yes.
we need the senior housing. I appreciate phase 3 of the senior housing. I appreciate the contribution for the roundabout. I do have heartburn though. My heartburn is in phase 1, commercial out front along Tom Ginevra. Yeah, we're going to do it. Phase 2 came in, commercial out front. Yeah, we're going to do it. Phase 3 comes in, it's commercial out front. And what I've been told is you're not building the commercial. We need the commercial out on Tom Ginevra. This is the third time you guys have come through. And the first 2 times was, yeah, we're going to get commercial in there. And I don't know how you can do it, but we need the commercial on lot 4.
Yeah. And it's still part of the plan.
I know it's still part of the plan. I know it's still part of the plan. I want the commercial out there on lot 4. I don't know, we need it out there.
Yeah. And I'm hopeful the improved access will make that site more valuable and marketable for that commercial need.
I would like to get it done as soon as possible.
Understood.
I mean, it was promised on phase 1, it was promised on phase 2. It wasn't promised on phase 3. I'll give you that. It wasn't promised on phase 3. But I really like to see lot 4 get commercial. Get the building up and get it leased out or sold. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments at this time for any members of the commission? If you'll step aside, this is a public hearing. One person, Arnie Deanoff, has filled out a comment card.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the commission. Arnie C. A.C. Deanoff, City Public Advocate. I have the same concerns that the mayor does with commercial. This is probably the 3rd or 4th go-around once again. Commercial along Tom Ginevra was promised way back when they wanted to expand their original development at the corner of T.R. Hughes and Tom Ginevra. Nothing has happened as of yet. And so we need commercial space because we need to pay for public safety services for the community. Our police are going to respond there every time that they call an ambulance. The fire district is going to respond there every time that they call an ambulance because our fire district has full-time firefighter paramedics. Although the fire department, fire district, and the ambulance district rely on real estate taxes, our police department relies on sales taxes. So how do we leverage and guarantee commercial development? I'd like to see somebody have the guts up on the dais to put a caveat that they don't get their building permit unless they enter into an agreement that they're going to develop lot 4 as commercial. You have to have leverage. You have to have some way to get them to commit to what they committed to years and years ago and to basically thumb their nose at leadership and the city staff. And that's shameful. Yes, we need community developments. Our aging population, because of the baby boomers, they're going to need some retirement communities to retire to. The other thing that I'm not very happy is the payment of road improvements. $12,650 is nothing to these developers from Columbia, Missouri, the father and son who were made overnight millionaires with Missouri finance tax credits and Missouri finance tax loans. And so this is a $1.7 million project that the community in the neighborhood doesn't want a roundabout. And as a matter of fact, it was a tie vote, or I'm sorry, it was defeated at the city council on the first go around and was reconsidered a couple weeks ago. So $12,650, I'd have to do the math to figure out the percentage, but it kind of seems like it's probably less than 0.05% of the overall total project. And it's really shameful that they're not contributing a lot more to that $1.7 million project that nobody in North O'Fallon wants. You know what? I can't support this unless you have the guts on the dais to put a caveat of a condition for commercial. Otherwise, I'm a no. Thank you.
That was the only public comment card. Close the public hearing. If you'll come back forward, please. Mayor Hennessy.
Todd or David, this is just the 12,000 is from phase 3. They also put money in there from phase 1 and phase 2. So what our public advocate was saying is false. This is just the amount from phase 3 that they're paying.
That's correct. It's broken up over all 4 phases.
So when phase 4 comes in, they'll be paying more money for that.
Yeah, phase 4 contribution is $17,250.
Okay. Again, I would take it back to your folks and try like the Dickens to get lot 4 built up as commercial. You can take it back to them and says you guys promised it on phase 1 and phase 2. I really want you to come back on lot 4 with a commercial before you start building. And I understand, phase 2, you guys have waiting list, and I'll guarantee you once you start selling, phase 3 is going to get sold out pretty quick also on a waiting list. I think that will help you immensely with getting a commercial spot there, whatever it is, because then you got all those residents that are going to use that spot. So I would take it back to your folks, and you can tell them that the mayor said that he's really looking for the commercial there. I would appreciate that.
Yes, sir, will do.
Commissioner Howard.
Thank you, sir. When I look at the site plan that was provided, there at the roundabout, there's a sidewalk on the east side, northeast side of the roundabout that stops. It should be extended up to the sidewalk behind the dumpster.
We've got a sidewalk, and sorry, I think some of the text skews it, but on the west side, the sidewalk actually extends into the site there.
There's one there, but it doesn't go anyplace.
Yeah, it crosses, as you'll see the ADA stalls there, it hits that access aisle between and takes you right into the site from there. So there will be a crosswalk at that location, and there's another sidewalk leading from the road from the right in, right out as well into the property. So we got 2 access points for pedestrians coming in.
It's one of the cheapest and easiest exercises for seniors.
Absolutely.
They enjoy getting out, so, make sure that everything connects so that they got loops to walk in.
Yeah, and most important is to make sure it's accessible as well. So that's part of the reason it's on the side of the drive where we have it, just so we can get a little flatter grade on that edge.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the commission?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I would like to echo our mayor in the need for commercial. I would like to know, is there, I know we're just an advisory commission. Is there any conditions that we can say you need to come back and present something with the city and to the mayor about some kind of commercial development going in on Lot 4?
Curtis, I can tell you, it's come to the city council, and I will guarantee you, I'm going to say the same thing to him next Thursday. And I'll say it to him again on the 24th when it comes back in. And I would, hopefully Ms. Cook will support me on that, and I guarantee you that the folks in Ward 1 will support that, and I believe the whole council will support that, because they know that, it was promised in phase 1 and phase 2. I really don't want to make a condition, because we need the senior housing. And that's my heartburn over it.
Right, right, and I'm with you on that too. But
They'll get an earful next Thursday, and 2 weeks after that, they'll get another earful.
we've seen projects proposed
I know.
that have come to us, and they're either, just like a previous issue tonight, they're non-existent or they come back modified.
Mr. Woods, would you like to add a comment here, please?
Yeah, just a point of clarification. This is an old PUD. It's the version that was repealed a long time ago, so that this one actually does not go to council. It's more like a final site plan.
This says motion for recommendation to the city council regarding the final plan for Meadowwoods Estates Phase 3. What it has on the agenda, Dave?
Yeah.
Stephanie, would you like to add your
Well, I guess
consent?
I talked to Tracy. I'm thinking of something else. I talked to Tracy about this after
Don't
that.
go Tracy under.
Yeah. I have my story mixed up. I'm sorry.
And you don't have to make a comment.
Stephanie, this does come to city council, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm giving you a heads up.
We have heads
It'll
up.
be myself and 10 elected officials, the other 10 council members going to say something about it.
Understood.
Councilmember Cook.
Quick question, is the parent company Fairways?
Fairway Construction is a subsidiary, I suppose, of the parent company, yes.
So Fairways Management, though, Fairways?
Yes,
they're the
Fairway
ones that-
Management as well,
They're the
yes.
management company for this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, do I have a motion on the first item, which is a request for consideration, motion of recommendation to the city council regarding the final plan for Meadowwood Estates 3 on Tom Ginevra Avenue, Jeffrey E. Smith Investments property owner, proposed use senior housing development.
Make a recommendation of approval based upon staff conditions. Howard.
Second, Hennessy.
Have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
Voting is closed.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
We have a second item on the agenda for this.
No.
No, we don't. My bad. It's in bifocals again. Thank you. Next item is northwest corner of Technology in Waterbury Falls Drive, back on track veterinary hospital. It's a request for consideration, motion for action on an amended site plan for the northwest corner of Technology in Waterbury Falls Drive, back on track veterinary hospital, HDTK Incorporated, contract purchase of proposed use veterinary hospital. To have somebody to present this, would you give us your name and address, please?
My name is Jeff Moon with Bax Engineering, here to represent the developer. This is at the, like I say, off of Technology. We were here a few months ago, had this approved, and then going back and doing the design, we went over it, and the owner went a little bit. Just wanted to show you, this is the old plan. You can see how as Ethan had mentioned, it was oriented more to the north, the parking on the west. New plan, pretty much rotated 90 degrees and changed the parking somewhat, and actually doing a better job with the parking and everything. With this plan, the building actually is about 30% bigger than before, but we actually have 56% open area now, and before we only had 48%. So amazingly, we increased the building and increased the grass also. So I'm glad about that. But so, like I said, the building got bigger, and looking at what the owner needed to accommodate this, and then to be able to work the reparking, this has been redone. The other thing I might mention is that on here you might or may have not noticed on the building elevations, there's a note, the architect's been working with the city to make an amendment with the building code, which I believe the ordinance is coming up here shortly, regarding these metal panels. They are called architectural composite metal. And they're panels, but they're not like regular metal siding that have the ridges or anything on it. They're flat panels. You can't see the fasteners. So he's trying to get that amended to make those allowable as a separate entity than standard metal siding, that he's doing that. So we have noted on there, if that does get approved, what we are showing as the composite board panels, we would like to use the architectural metal panels instead. So that's something that we had noted on the elevations. The other item, one thing to say is regarding the conditions, there's one, condition 5, I would ask that that would be removed. It's regarding the bike parking. Per the code, this is required as deemed appropriate by the Planning and Zoning Commission. So I would ask that you guys consider to not require any bike parking for this. We see it's not really relevant for people to bring their pets on their bikes. And well, I'll leave that up to you to make your decisions. And so just go through, these are the building elevations, similar to was before. We just like say we're going, hopefully going with the architectural panels that we have on that. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Mr. Mayor.
Jeff, can you explain to me why a veterinary hospital needs a garage?
Well, yes, I will say, because where they're at now, they're in the strip center, okay? The doctors will sometimes drive separately. One will stay late. The doctor and her husband, who is like the office manager. And their concern is a lot of times when it snows or anything, they only take the one vehicle and leave one there, or if they're going somewhere together. At the retail center, there's plenty of lights and other people around. Here, they're on isolated by themselves. They want somewhere if they could park a vehicle, keep it inside, out of the weather, and away from anybody's possible vandalism.
Makes sense. I mean, I was just curious why an animal hospital wanted a garage. I mean, God, well,
They could be driving a Tesla. Maybe that's what it is.
So
I
was just curious.
Yeah, we had the room, so I thought this would be a good to help with them safety-wise. And
I can tell you, I don't have a problem removing the bike rack.
Commissioner Howard.
Thank you, sir. For some reason, this area seems to be darker than some of the other areas around here. It may be the trees. I don't know what it is, but make sure that there's plenty of lighting at both curb cuts so that you don't have any problem in seeing the curb cuts.
oh yeah, we'll have adequate.
There was elevations provided with lighting, so.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, do I have a motion for a request for consideration, motion for action on a amended site plan for the northwest corner of Technology and Waterbury Falls Drive, back on track veterinary hospital, HDTK Incorporated, contract purchaser, proposed use veterinary hospital.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like motion to approval per staff recommendations with removal of the bike rack.
Second, Seymour.
To have a motion and a second, please cast your votes.
I'm getting there.
Voting is now closed.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next item is a public hearing for Title IV Land Use, Chapter 400, consideration and recommendation of City Council regarding ordinance amending Title IV Land Use, Chapter 400. Do we have somebody to present this to the commission?
All right, hello again. Okay, these are changes to Chapter 400, the zoning code. Like the last presenter just said, we are proposing to add definitions for metal siding and aluminum composite material, ACM panels, to provide a distinction between the two, and that add language to the metal siding section of the code to allow the use of the ACM panels as an accent feature in certain zoning districts at certain amounts. So that is regarding metal siding. Next, in the downtown overlay, we're proposing to add language to allow applicants to increase the allowed number of residential units per acre. That's only in the mixed-use zoning district in the downtown overlay on developments over a certain size. Next are changes to the maximum size of sheds. We've been talking about this for a little while now. So we're proposing to increase the maximum size of sheds to match more closely to other cities in the area, and removing language that required a shed over the maximum size to be allowed through the approval of a conditional use permit. This will now be handled by the Board of Adjustment with a variance request. Next, a change to Appendix A to make liquor stores in the C1 zoning district a conditional use permit instead of a permitted use. And then finally, for adding language that ground-mounted solar panel developments over a certain size will require the review and approval of a conditional use permit. We're proposing new language from what was in the packet. So that section will now read, ground-mounted solar panels that cover more than 1 acre of a given site. This includes the panels, spacing, and access drives shall require approval of a conditional use permit per provisions of Article 7 of Chapter 400 of the City of O'Fallon zoning code related to conditional uses. So those are all the proposed changes. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner Nagar.
Hey, Ethan.
Hello.
So on the under old business, the 406 Narrow Leaf Lane, remember that Miss Brown had that shed. Does the new 7A and 7B, will that help that lady get that shed as it increases the size of the sheds now?
I guess I don't remember if hers was over 200 square feet. If it was under 200 square feet, then yeah, it would be allowed with just a building permit.
It exceeds 150 square feet.
Yeah, so currently the maximum is 150 square feet. I don't know if she's between 150 and 200 square feet. If she is, then it would be allowed with the proposed change.
I don't know, does the city get a hold of her and say, hey, we changed our policy, maybe we can help you out? Which
So I think the one that's on old business.
The one, remember that lady that came in last month?
She's already been approved.
Yeah, that's a different one. There were two.
This is different.
Good job, Ethan.
The one that's tabled was from one up off of Highway P. So this one was off of Tom Ginever, and she got approved last Thursday.
Commissioner Seymour.
Thank you. Ethan, the increasing the size of the shed, that language should be as permitted by the subdivision. My subdivision I live in, they don't allow sheds at all, any size.
Yeah, they would still have to follow any HOA guidelines.
Right. So this would not supersede that.
Correct.
No. HOA overrules us.
Right.
Yeah. So they'd still have to follow whatever their HOAs require.
We don't have to put that in our ordinance?
No.
Okay.
That's already
All right.
just how it is.
Whatever.
Stephanie concurred over there. Her head was bobbing. This is a public hearing.
Yeah, Mr. Howard had a question.
Mr. Howard. He'll wait. Is a public hearing. AC Dinoff, it's the only one who filled out a comment card.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Arnie C., AC Dinoff, City Public Advocate. First off, I'm opposed to metal panels going into our codified code. If you do some research and talk to some experts in the field, metal panels get dull, get sun faded, and then they have a wind grit area. So we've had a number of windstorms in the past month, for example, and wind grit dulls the surface or pits the surface. And so after a few years, if you look at the composites and the aluminum, it gets to be dull and it doesn't look very good. So I'm going to be opposed to changing the code to allow metal siding or aluminum composite. The other thing is, especially the aluminum part, is the softness of the material. The metal siding, with our hailstorms and the extreme storms we've gone through, that metal siding is going to be damaged probably in the first year. So I'm totally opposed to metal siding and aluminum composite material. The second issue, allowing number of residential units per acre in a special zoning district or downtown overlay district. I guess I'm okay with that, just so we don't violate our 6 units per acre currently in the codified code for residential R1 districts. The next thing is the maximum size of sheds. I don't think 50 square feet additional is enough. I think we should compromise at 300 square feet to allow our residents to enjoy their property and to construct a building of their needs. If you look at the City of St. Peter's codified code and the City of Manchester, located in St. Louis County, they allow 500 square feet for a shed. So I think 300 would be a good compromise, not the mere 50 to go on top of the 150. So I would ask that we look at 300 square foot. Ground-mounted solar panel developments, as you all know, in Callaway County on I-70 on the north side of the highway. It's a very controversial project with their MUE, and there's some state legislation restricting where ground-mounted panels can be placed. I would ask you put a condition that a ground-mounted solar panel not be within 1,000 feet of any residential dwelling unit. The next thing is liquor stores and a C1 zoning conditional use permit instead of a permitted use. That would require a public hearing, and I'm all for transparency and allowing the public to testify on any liquor stores going in a neighborhood. Those are my comments of the changes, and appreciate you taking them into consideration, but I'm sure you'll probably rubber stamp what the city staff tells you to do. So, thank you.
That was the only comment card. I'll close the public hearing. Ethan, if you'll come back to the podium, please. Commissioner Howard.
Thanks, Jim. The new definition of metal siding, does it include siding, aluminum siding and metal siding that is hung on a house just like vinyl siding is?
Yeah, it would include any sort of metal siding that is not specifically the ACM panels.
I mean, aren't there construction projects that are building houses with aluminum siding on them?
Yeah, those types are allowed where, you know, that we're not changing that aspect. We're just allowing for these specific metal panels to be used in commercial industrial zonings as accent features. So we're not changing anything about what's currently allowed or you know, like you said, like aluminum siding.
Well, I mean, you know, you read the definition, it doesn't exclude residential or anything from it. That's why I was confused, I guess, with it.
Yeah, we can look at that if you'd like us to, yeah.
In the R1A, or lots excess of 30,000 square feet, is there any limit at all to what the shed sizes could be? I mean, build a horse barn or?
Yeah, no, I don't believe there is on those lots. Those are large lots. I guess I don't know the minimum size off the top of my head, but those are, larger, much larger lots that have room for a shed over. It would now be 200. So
Site plan review then or something?
that'd be a building permit.
Yeah, the only thing would just be the lot coverage.
Yeah, lot coverage would be the only thing we'd look at with that.
Okay. And then when I read on page 3, paragraph 3, right above section 5, the first line when I read it, it looks like it's just hanging there. There should have been more information as to what that was trying to.
Yeah, that was just the title section of that paragraph. When you see it in the code, it's formatted differently, so you can tell that it's just kind of the title of what that paragraph is about. So yeah, that I could have formatted that to make that clear. So,
Any other questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, do we have a motion for consideration and recommendation of the City Council regarding ordinance amending Title IV, Land Use, Chapter 400?
Motion for consideration, Wexler.
Second, Egemeyer.
Have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
Voting is closed.
Motion passes. Next item is consent calendar. We have no items. Next item is all other items as they may arise. David?
Yeah, the first item there, we have just an update. We had approved administrative conditional use permit for 900 Caledonia. We had approved this for an indoor rec probably last summer. I put in here August of 2024, and for Lava Island, and now they want to put in a batter's box. It's an indoor recreation use. So this is just to let you know that that's a new use that it was approved administratively by staff.
Next items.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say that's in the Caledonia Hotel building.
Next
movie theater. The next item we have is the comprehensive plan update. Staff has been contacting and working through our goals and objectives that were in the comprehensive plan that was adopted. We've had meetings kind of throughout the beginning of the year with the different departments, building and economic development, public works, parks and rec, and we went through the goals with them and where they stand on different topics. So we've attached a spreadsheet in there that kind of outlines the goals that were approved as part of our comp plan. And we've provided an update on where things stand. So I don't know if we have anything specific to really mention. We were just wanting to have you see what we've been working on and where things stand, big picture wise with the city.
Okay. Next item, City Council action update.
3 things in there. We had a couple of the sheds we've already talked about. The movie theater for 3 units in the Caledonia Theater was approved. And then there was the detention 405 requirements was approved also.
All right, next item is elevation update, Harvester Church on Frontier Park Drive.
Yeah, this was kind of a big news. I was when this came across my desk for a building permit recently. I'm like, we should, you all want to know about this one. This is a big deal. So the Frontier Bowling Alley that we've all grown up with is being switched over to a church. So the building is going to be looking different. So I was wanting to share that information with you. It's a permitted use. There's not really a planning and zoning site plan, but I just want you to be aware of that change.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments from any of the commissioners? Okay. The only other comment I've got is Outer Road, the mayor had admonished those folks when they came in and asked to build something to keep the dirt off the road. And I'm glad to say that I don't care if it's a monsoon rain. If there's some mud on that road, it's gone the next morning. So they listen to you, Mayor, on both sides. Thank you. With that, we'll adjourn.